Ice Cube's ascension from the rough streets of South Central LA to the top of the music, film, and business worlds has made him a legend. But now that Ice Cube is 56 and has had a lot of success and failure over the years, we have to wonder, what is the cost of his greatness? Has he finally escaped the anguish and trouble that have always accompanied him? Or is there still more trouble waiting for him? His narrative is one of strength, but the bigger question is, what does it take for a guy to keep going when the world has attempted to break him over and over again? This inquiry is the key to comprehending the real pain in Ice Cube's life. Before we go on, please like this video and subscribe to our channel for future updates. A simple start in South Central Los Angeles. Ice Cube was born on June 15, 1969, and grew up in the tough, rugged area of Westmont in South Central Los Angeles. His family was always short on money, but the love and discipline of his parents, Hosea and Doris, gave him a sense of security. Ice Cube's parents taught him the value of not giving up, even though he grew up in an environment where optimism seemed hard to find. His dad worked long hours at UCLA, while his mom worked at a hospital. Because they worked so hard all the time, Ice Cube saw how hard it was to make ends meet. This impoverished background didn't simply change the way he saw the world, it also shaped the musician he would become. He used his experiences to make songs that gave him the strength and determination to rise beyond the harsh reality of his neighborhood. Beverly's heartbreaking death. When Ice Cube was only 12 years old, he lost his sister Beverly in a sad accident. This was the most important incident in his early life. Her unexpected death was a huge blow to the family, and it caused an emotional divide that would take years to heal. Ice Cube was quite upset by what happened, and it was this tragedy that made him realize how fragile life is. Beverly's death was a heartbreaking reminder of how quickly life can change, and it left a silent gap that would shape Cube's behavior for years to come. It also taught him a valuable lesson about how quickly time passes, which he eventually put into his songs. Her death tormented him, and he had a tremendous feeling of grief that he could never totally shake off. But he also had a strong desire to keep going. Other things and a solo career. In 1989, Cube's work with NWA came to a sudden end. He was upset about how little he had been paid, so he left the group and went solo. He put out AmeriKKK's Most Wanted, the first of numerous albums that got great reviews, a year later. He also did well as a rapper and producer when he worked with other musicians. He even worked with David Bowie and Trent Reznor, who are not hip-hop performers. Cube started his movie career with a highly appreciated performance in the John Singleton-directed coming-of-age Hood film Boys and the Hood, 1992. This was around the time he left NWA. He went on to star in a number of other hit movies, such as Friday, 1995, Three Kings, 1999, and Barbershop, 2002, finding comfort in writing. Ice Cube found a way to deal with his loss by writing. What began as a simple hobby became a lifeline. Cube started composing lyrics at the age of 14. These poems became the voice for his sorrow, worries, and frustrations. It was no longer just a way to pass the time. Writing became a way to stay alive. He wrote out his feelings naturally, and the pen gave them shape. Every lyric was like a therapy session with rhythm and rhyme. Writing allowed him time to think on the harsh times he had been through, and, in a way, it was his own confession. He didn't need a teacher or a school. His own suffering taught him how to use words to change the world, which was the start of his music career. The change from school to living. Ice Cube was already carrying the weight of his past and the sadness of his sister's murder when he went to Taft High School. Even though he did well in school, his heart and head were far from the immaculate corridors and well-kept classrooms. Cube felt like an outsider as he went through the halls of school, stuck between two worlds. His schooling was vital, but it didn't meet his deeper urge to express himself Cube couldn't stop thinking about his family's problems, his roots, and the poor neighborhood where he grew up that affected how he saw the world. The school's fancy atmosphere just made him feel more out of place. Cube realized that no amount of academic accomplishment could fix the shattered portions of his spirit after he did so well in architectural drafting. This made him want to go back to the world of music, where he could really express himself. The beginning of Ice Cube's voice. Ice Cube's voice first came from the neighborhoods of South Central, where he grew up and had to deal with a lot of problems. When he was 14, he started penning rhymes that were honest and uncensored views on the world around him. His music wasn't just a method to get away, it was his voice and his truth. Music became his therapy, the one place where he could let out all the things he had been holding back. His remarks changed from personal thoughts to strong stories about the problems in his town and the hard times he had. Ice Cube's lyrics were raw, honest, and unlike anything else that had ever been heard. This realness, which came from sorrow and genuine emotion, really hit home with his fans. His skill wasn't simply in making rhymes, it was also in conveying stories that spoke to a generation that was seeking for their own voice, the moment of failure and success. Ice Cube's career took a big turn in 1987 when he wrote Boys in the Hood, which would later become a defining song of gangsta. Cube sold the song to Eazy-E when he was only 16 years old, without understanding that it would be the start of his rise to fame. But even though Ice Cube was becoming more well-known, he still had to deal with the hard truths of the music business. He signed with NWA and got paid only $32,000 for an album that sold millions. This felt like an insult because of all the work he had done. This difference in pay made Cube angry, and in 1989 he quit NWA, which many people thought was a risky move for his career. But Cube chose respect over comfort and money, so he left fame and money behind in quest of respect. It wasn't rebellion, it was about defending his worth. His choice showed that his integrity was more important to him. Please like this video and subscribe to our channel for future updates. The rise of a solo star. After Ice Cube left NWA, his solo career took off. His first album, America's Most Wanted, blew up the music world and made Cube a major player in hip-hop. Cube's unique talent for mixing societal commentary with harsh street realities helped him connect with his fans on a deeper level. His next two albums, Death Certificate and The Predator, were also big hits. With each new release, Cube's raw reality impacted harder. But the more famous he got, the more stress he felt. His popularity started to take a toll on his personal life, and the constant need for his time left little time for his family. There was no doubt that becoming a star was hard. But Cube stayed strong. He continued going, using the hard times and good times as inspiration for his art. He was constructing a legacy with his music, one verse at a time, the ancient school and where it came from. A lot of people think of hip-hop as a type of rap music, but it actually refers to a complex culture that includes four parts: DJing or turntabling, rapping or MCing or rhyming, graffiti painting or graph or writing, and b-boying, which includes hip-hop dance, style, and attitude, as well as the kind of virile body language that philosopher Cornel West called postural semantics. Hip-hop started in the late 1970s in the South Bronx, which was mostly African American and poor. The hip-hop movement started on the outside of society, and its beginnings are cloaked in myth, mystery, and confusion. A new fight in Hollywood. In the early 1990s, Ice Cube made the brave step to become an actor, which surprised many. His first acting job was in Boys in the Hood, where he quickly became famous for his performance. Cube was a rapper first, but he also made a name for himself in Hollywood. But the change wasn't easy. He joined a system that still didn't believe in his skills, and a lot of casting directors thought he was just a rapper trying to act instead of a professional actor. This made it harder for him to find work in the business. But Cube didn't give up. He tried hard to show himself by studying scripts and learning how to act. Cube's role in Friday in 1995 not only made him a movie star, but it also showed that he could make his own mark in Hollywood. Cube changed Hollywood forever when he came on the scene. The hard work of success. Ice Cube's career kept going up, but the stress of success got to him. The stress of being famous and working 16 hours a day on tour took a toll on his body. As he spent more and more time away from home, his family suffered, and his personal life began to feel less important than his growing job. Ice Cube started to feel the emotional toll of his success, even though it looked like he was doing well. There was a lot of pressure on every choice and every endeavor, even if the public couldn't see it. He had become famous and rich because of his success, but it had also taken away time he could have spent with his family. Cube's story is a harsh reminder that success may come at a great personal cost, even when things are going well. No matter how rich or famous you are, some things, like spending time with loved ones, can never be replaced. A family's stress. As Ice Cube's fame grew, his family life got harder. His wife, Kimberly Woodruff, often had to raise their kids by herself, while Ice Cube was preoccupied with his job. The sacrifices were tremendous, and their marriage was put to the test in ways that most people don't see. Cube missed a lot of crucial events because of the realities of stardom, hard hours on set, and continual travel. His wife, Kimberly, who had to take on a lot of the home responsibilities, felt this sacrifice personally. Ice Cube traveled the world for work, but the time he missed at home was the hardest for him. Even while things were going well on the outside, this was a continuous reminder that even the most famous person can't escape the effects of a broken family life. The silent breakthrough. Saying no to $9 million. Ice Cube made a shocking choice in 2021 that shocked the globe. He said no to a $9 million job in the movie Oh Hell No, because the producers wanted him to get the COVID-19 vaccine. It was a private choice, based on what he thought was right. Ice Cube chose his ideals before money, even if others might have jumped at the chance. The choice showed how strong he was as a person. He was willing to stand up for what he believed in, even if it meant losing a lot of money. Cube's choice sent a strong statement in Hollywood, where chances like this don't come along very often. Cube's choice made it clear that his beliefs will always come first, no matter what. The changing face of Hollywood. As Ice Cube got older, he started to see that things were changing in Hollywood. The business had evolved, and new stars were coming up, leaving the old ones behind. Ice Cube used to be the guy who defined the genre and smashed down barriers. Now, though, his name wasn't the first one brought up in meetings. As Hollywood changed, Cube's place in it looked less clear. He had made a name for himself by doing things that others didn't expect, but now he had to deal with a new reality. The world had moved on. It was hard for him to see younger actors take the roles he had worked for. It was a harsh reminder that success in Hollywood doesn't last forever. Ice Cube, on the other hand, didn't back down from this challenge. He kept looking for his place in the business, quietly moving forward, while others might have moved on without him. Ice Cube's quiet strength. Ice Cube is still a strong and resilient person today, despite everything that has happened in his career. He has lost, been rejected, and been betrayed, and he has had to deal with the changes that occur with time. But his spirit is still strong. He doesn't need to prove anything to anyone now that he's 56. His family, his legacy, and the work he does now give him comfort. His story has gone beyond the world of entertainment to become a story of bravery and endurance in the face of hardship that everyone can relate to. Ice Cube's life shows that a man's worth is based on how well he can stay calm in the face of a storm. The legacy of a man who wouldn't give up. The legacy of Ice Cube will live on for a long time. He started with nothing and established a career that went beyond what everybody thought was possible and changed the course of history. His road has been long and hard, but there is no denying how much he has changed music, movies, and culture. He didn't reach the top by doing what people expected of him. He accomplished it by being true to himself His legacy isn't simply his money or celebrity. It's the many lives he's changed with his honesty, strength, and dedication to his work. If Ice Cube's story has inspired you, please give it a thumbs up, leave a comment, and subscribe for more. Keep an eye out for more stories that will touch, inspire, and push you. In the next video, see you.